All right. Republicans giving House member and Interior nominee Deb Haaland a very hard time, and they are right to do so. She has a long paper trail of hostility to fracking, pipelines, oil, natural gas, coal, any fossil fuels. Her record shows her to be an extremist. And by the way, she'd be the first anti-pipeline activist to lead the Interior Department. She participated in protests against the Dakota Access Pipeline, and she said, and I will quote, wholeheartedly against fracking and drilling on public lands, end quote. But really, it's more than that, because she said it's time we stopped all new fossil fuel infrastructure. This is over the edge, far out stuff, especially for an Interior Secretary who is actually in charge of managing our nation's resources in a responsible way. Now, she's saying to Congress that she'll change because she no longer just represents one congressional district in New Mexico. And now, presumably, she'll have a more expansive view at the Interior Department. Frankly, it's hard to believe, very hard to believe. And the last point I want to make, and this is to our next guest, Ms. Haaland has tweeted that Republicans, this is quote, Republicans don't even believe in science. Well, my friend Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming, an orthopedic surgeon, he pointed out that he and two other GOP committee members are medical doctors, and he asked Ms. Haaland, well, don't medical doctors believe in science? Thrown off balance, she said, okay, if you're a doctor, I assume you believe in science. This is not good. So, my friend, Senator John Barrasso, thank you for taking time. So I'll ask the obvious question, then we'll get to the important question. Senator Barrasso, do you believe in science?
As a doctor, I do, but I'll tell you, as a nominee, she is a cheerleader for the Biden administration, and she is really a ringleader against fossil fuel use. That's the position that she had in the House of Representatives. She's come out against fracking. She said, carbon-based energy ought to stay in the ground. She's gone to North Dakota to protest personally against the Dakota Access Pipeline. She is wrong on all of these issues in terms of what we need for our economy and for the energy needs of the American people. I thought she was unqualified in terms of the way she answered the questions, unresponsive, really unprepared to address the issues that were before us today in the Energy Committee.
I am sorry that our friend, and good guy, Senator Manchin, came out and endorsed her for the Interior Department. He's from West Virginia, and he would feel the pain of her beliefs. This business about opposing pipelines, Senator Barrasso, I checked back. She picketed the Dakota Access Pipeline, and she talked about environmental justice and green blackouts. But in fact, Senator, correct me if this is wrong, before the government signed off on the Dakota Access Pipeline, the Army Corps of Engineers repeatedly went and spoke to the local people, including the tribes, repeatedly over a long period of time, and Ms. Haaland still wouldn't buy it.
Well, you're absolutely right. You know the facts on this, and you take a look at what this is going to do to the economy of our nation. You're talking about the loss of possibly 1 million jobs across the country. You know, Larry, what this is going to do to energy prices. It's going to increase the cost of energy, whether it's to heat your home or to drive your vehicle. All of these things are going to be hurt in the United States for taxpayers, for hardworking families. I'm really worried in Wyoming, and what the Biden administration is doing is essentially, it seems to be driving a stake through the heart of Wyoming's economy, the energy economy, and then with this coronavirus so-called relief bill, with this mandatory doubling of the minimum wages, we're talking about, across the country, another 1.4 million jobs being lost, many around the state of Wyoming. This whole administration is coming out in ways that are harmful to the economy and to the working men and women of our nation.
Senator Barrasso, I want to get back to the budget policy in a second. Mitt Romney blasted it in the Wall Street Journal today, called it a clunker. I think he was right. Good points. But regarding Ms. Haaland, now, in your judgment, will she be confirmed? What's the outlook here? Because as you're suggesting, this is dangerous stuff. The left-wing Nation magazine, our friends over there, They're saying she's the heart and soul of Biden policies, okay? The heart and soul of Biden policies, even though she's trying to deny her past record. She going to get through, John Barrasso?
Well, you know, we have a 50-50 Senate, and I'm going to work on every Republican and trying to get them to oppose this nomination. As you mentioned, Joe Biden came out in support of it. It may be a 50-50 tie with the vice president having to come in and break the tie. The issue are these policies that are radical, extreme. Look, they're dangerous to every hardworking family who needs affordable energy. They're scary for people in Wyoming who work in the energy field, and not just Wyoming. I mean, you see it when I talk to the senators from Oklahoma and Texas and all around the Rocky Mountain West and the country. Louisiana senators very concerned about her positions as well. And every American ought to be concerned about this radical approach that the Biden administration is taking toward the energy that we need, and is just going to make us more dependent on foreign countries, and it costs a lot more to get that energy here than using what we have right here in America, Larry.
Yeah, that's why I'm so puzzled that Joe Manchin has come out in favor of her. Last one, Senator Barrasso, you're a member of the Senate Republican leadership and so forth. Regarding this budget deal and the reconciliation process, is it possible, you know, we've talked about the minimum wage being ruled out of order, not germane according to the Byrd rule, and that the Senate parliamentarian would do that. I'm hearing some whispers that other parts of the bill, there's sort of discretionary parts of the bill that have nothing to do with COVID, for example, with the economy, or for that matter, fiscal policy, including skip-year spending. Stuff doesn't kick in for years. Now, is it possible that more could be extracted from this before it actually goes before the Senate?
Well, we're working to defeat the entire thing. You know, you take a look at, you said what Mitt Romney called it a clunker. I think of it as a lemon. You're going to pay much, much too much, and it's not going to get you to where you want to go. Where we want to go is to get people back to work, getting kids back to school, and getting the virus behind us. This bill doesn't do it. It is a wish list for liberal spending, including bailouts to big cities and big states. We see that. Direct payments, some to illegal immigrants. Lots of money to the schools that doesn't even start going out till 2022, goes all the way out to 2028. This is really a payoff to the teachers' unions. And you know what, Larry? It doesn't get the kids back to school. It doesn't get the job done. I'm going to oppose it all the way.
We need vaccines, which are coming online. It's my whole story here, to open businesses and schools, and that'll set off a roaring economic boom if Washington keeps its hands off. Senator John Barrasso, I know you've heard that before from me and others. Thank you, sir, for coming on. Really appreciate it. Great to see you.